In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, one God, amen. I have a bit of confession. So on Friday, it was July 1st, and I thought to myself, I'm like, Pride Month is finally over. And I was like, now, like, finally when you open up different websites, it's no longer rainbow, they've just kind of gone back to their regular, banners and backdrops and things like that. And now when I look up NFL stuff, it no longer has like NFL Pride like on things. So I was just kind of looking at them like, finally, like, June is done. And then I was reading and preparing for today's gospel, and then the sermon, I was like, the way I looked at this last month was not right. Because I looked at this last month, and I'm like, all right, June 1st, be ready, and by June 30th, like, it will just be over. And I wanted to just kind of, bury my head for, a large part of it, and not really talk about it, and then just kind of move on. And I realized that that's not necessarily the right approach. And I don't think the right approach either is to go out swinging on a month like this. But I think it is appropriate to see the opportunity that a month like this presents. Okay? And just like last week, after the ruling of Roe v. Wade, presented an opportunity for us to talk about abortion and our stance on abortion and why we believe in the sanctity of life and protect life, and kind of just opening up that discussion led to a lot of other discussions. Realize that out of this whole month, we didn't talk about really the LGBTQ community, and I'm not going to focus on it now. But I am going to say that these months and these challenges that we face present opportunities for us. They present opportunities on multiple levels. I think the first level is to kind of ask ourselves, okay, well, where am I in this whole issue? And I can appreciate that there's a variety of different beliefs, but more than just asking, well, where am I in this issue, or the different issues that come up, to ask the question and say, where is God on these issues? What is God saying about these issues? And am I in line with what He is saying on these issues, not just what I think about these issues? I think what He says on the issue of abortion, on the sanctity of life, the sacredness of life, from conception until the last breath, is very powerful and is very straightforward. Yes, the situations that we face are difficult, but He is clear of it. But and so that's one point. And then the other thing is that, am I prepared when opportunities present itself to speak and to share? And not only am I ready to speak and share, but am I ready to do it with words seasoned with salt? Because I'll be honest, I can speak about many things in a very impassioned way, but that's not necessarily the right way to speak about it. Because if I speak about it in an impassioned way, I can be careless in the way that I speak about it. And if I'm careless in the way that I speak about things, then I lose the opportunity that presents in the moment. We look at today's gospel, Luke chapter 6. It says, "But I say to you who hear, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, and pray for those who spitefully use you." I think our society is becoming very difficult for you to hold a belief that is contrary to where the masses are going. And it's very easy in response to that to become impassioned in our speech or judgmental in our speech. But Scripture today is telling us we need to love our enemies. And we need to do good to those who hate you and who make it difficult for you. This is the position that we're in. This is the call that we've been called to. And it's a difficult place to be. But this is the reality of where we are at. How many people within the last month, or even within this last week, have been confronted about, well, where do you stand on the issue of abortion? How many people, like in the last week, came up on that? Comes up. We talk about it. And sometimes, like, it's brought up in a way of, like, if you believe anything different than me, like, it's unbelievable. Right? There's such an intolerance for different views. This is the environment that we're in. But yet, in this environment, Scripture tells us that we need to do good. And we need to love our enemies. Right? And we need to pray for those who use us. It's a tough place to be. But it's in these situations that when we conduct ourselves in a loving way, in a respectful way, but still in a strong way, that we open up the door to really share the gospel. Because think about it in the opposite. If we don't conduct ourselves in a loving way, we don't talk to others who have a difference of opinion than us in a respectful way, will they hear or will they listen? How many of you listen to somebody who isn't respectful, who isn't loving, who isn't like courteous to you in conversations? It's very difficult for us to listen. In the same way, when we aren't careful and we don't season our words, and we don't maintain respect for the other who is different than us, love for the other because we are commanded to love, right? But yet still stand strong, we lose the opportunity. We disqualify ourselves from the conversation. And there goes our opportunity to really share the message of the gospel. St. Paul, today, in Colossians, he said, meanwhile, praying also for us that God would open to us a door for the word to speak the mystery of Christ, for which I am also in chains. What St. Paul is saying, like, he's looking for difficult opportunities. He has his eyes on these difficult opportunities because he sees them as a chance to share the gospel. Which is why I was convicted that my approach to this last month was not right. I was like, okay, just like 30 days, it'll be over. That's not the right approach. Right? It's difficult conversations. And I know I have a tendency to be impassioned about it. But if I'm going to use these opportunities to share the message of the gospel, and to share the mystery of Christ, who within himself possesses these answers and gives us the strength to stand, then I have to be ready and prepared to engage in these conversations. I have to be ready on these issues. That they are not going away, they will continue to be here and to get even more difficult. He also says, walk in wisdom towards those who are outside, redeeming the time. Let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer each one. It's important for us to be active in understanding it, not to cocoon ourselves in order. We have to challenge ourselves when these opportunities present to internally reflect and ask the right questions so that when we go out, and all of us are called to go out, we are ready to talk. We're ready to at least understand where we stand on the issues. Not everybody here is going to become an apologist who can really take on these discussions at a high level, right? That's not what we're being called to. But we are called to be knowledgeable, at least to a certain extent, on the issues before us. And to not just be knowledgeable in what I feel about the situation or what I think is right? But to be knowledgeable about what God says on the situation and what God has told us is correct. And being ready to reasonably hold our ground against the winds of society. We need to become strong individuals, not safe individuals. Sometimes we focus so much on safety. And safety means it's dangerous, stay away. Or I'm worried about this, let me go away. Right? But one way or another, the issues of today are going to find us. Therefore, we have to push ourselves to be strong individuals. We believe in an all-powerful God. There is no reason why we think His power stops at Him. His power continues to us and flows through us. Therefore, we must be strong. But not strong in pushing my own agenda, but strong in presenting His faith, or our faith in Him. So when we have questions, and when we're faced with situations like this, one of the things that I want to do a better job of talking about these issues and opening up ways for us to discuss these issues, to really ask ourselves, well, what do we believe and why do we believe it? We tend to be safe, right, or take the posture of safety, meaning let's push everything away and cocoon ourselves in, when we feel that the reasons for our belief aren't strong. But when we visit the reasons of why we believe what we believe, then we find the strength in order to stand firm. And there are strong reasons to why we believe what we believe. And we need to explore those reasons together. So that we can, as society continues to get more complicated and even more intolerant of our beliefs, and we can stand strong. We don't believe in a blind faith. There is strong reason to what we believe, what we believe. There's strong reasons for our beliefs, right? And it's based on those reasons that we have faith. It's not that I have faith, therefore I got reason in my life. No, I have reason, and because of my ability to reason, this is what I believe. That's a different position than to stand. We need to explore, and we need to ground ourselves, and we need to be courageous in doing so. Because our goal isn't to be safe. Our goal is to be strong. And we can be strong because we believe in an all-powerful God who will give us His strength, who has promised us His strength. But we also have to do our work. And it's when we do our work that we work synergistically with Him. It's where we come into His strength. When I do my work, when I understand my faith, when I understand His positions on these issues, not my own positions on these issues, right? That I find my strength. Let's begin to change the culture within our local community. To be a community that is courageous in taking on these issues. And empowering ourselves to be strong believers. That when we speak words seasoned with salt, that we stand up courageously and use these opportunities to minister to this world. But we have to do it maintaining a common respect and love for those that see the world differently. If we lose that position of respect and love towards those who are outside, to those who are different than us, we discredit ourselves and we lose the opportunity. But when we maintain a position of love and respect, we open up ourselves to engage in the conversation. And therefore, we have the opportunity to reveal Christ to those. So I'm going to do a better job in my life. I'm not putting my head down and just waiting for it to pass. I can see these as opportunities for us to grow as individuals and as a team. So meditate on that for the strength for all of us to be strong believers in this world, not just